The bruise on her cheek should have been just another thing Jae-sung Park ignored. Another small detail about the woman who cleaned his downtown apartment every Tuesday and Friday morning. She was supposed to be invisible, like her quiet steps, her careful way of moving, how efficiently she worked. But when Naomi Williams set down her cleaning bucket and he saw her flinch from a sudden movement, something protective and fierce woke up inside him. He'd ruined people for less than the fear he saw in those brown eyes. "Who did this to you?" His voice was scary calm, the same tone he used before destroying his business enemies. Naomi's hand shot up to the purple mark under her left eye, badly hidden by makeup that didn't match her skin. "Just an accident, Mr. Park. Nothing to worry about." Jae-sung walked closer. She stepped back. That one step backward, that automatic flinch, lit something up in a man who'd spent 12 years building Seattle's biggest tech empire through pure toughness. For the first time since fighting his way from broke to wealthy, Park Jae-sung felt completely out of control. "Don't lie to me," he said quietly, and everything changed between them. Naomi had cleaned Jae-sung's Pioneer Square apartment for 9 months without really seeing him. He was just there. Nice clothes, quiet footsteps, the smell of expensive cologne and danger that stayed in rooms after he left. She knew the important stuff. He paid 3 times the normal rate, never made messes, and wanted her invisible. Being invisible was Naomi's specialty. 26 years of being ignored had taught her how to be in a room without anyone noticing. She made herself smaller in elevators, breathed quieter around important people, learned perfectly how to be there without being seen. Today, that careful invisibility fell apart. She'd tried to cover the bruise, cheap foundation that didn't match because that's all the corner store had, makeup that just made the swelling more obvious. Her boss at Premier Home Solutions would fire her if she looked beat up, and Destiny needed new winter boots. Rent was due in 6 days, so Naomi went to work. If you're still watching, don't forget to turn on the notification button because we've got more incredible tales of unexpected romance coming your way. The apartment was quiet when she got there at her usual 9 a.m. time. Jae-sung was never home during her shifts, something she'd really counted on today. She walked through the huge space with its big windows looking over Elliott Bay, the water spreading out below like his personal kingdom. That's what the other maids whispered. Park Jae-sung owned half of Seattle's tech businesses and all its secrets. The investment company was legit. Everything else lived in shadows. Naomi didn't care about his business. She cared about the $700 every week that kept Destiny fed and safe. She was cleaning the kitchen counters, all expensive marble and steel, when she heard the elevator. Her heart dropped. "He never came home early. You're still here." His voice came from behind her, Korean accent but smooth, every word careful. Naomi turned slowly, keeping her bruised side hidden. "Sorry, Mr. Park. I'll finish fast and get out of your way. Look at me. Not a request." Park Jae-sung didn't ask. She lifted her eyes and watched his face change from polite distance to sharp focus. He walked across the room in a few quick steps, expensive shoes quiet on the floor. Up close, he was gorgeous in a way that hurt to look at. Strong jawline, dark eyes that saw everything, black hair perfectly styled. His gray shirt was unbuttoned at the top, showing his neck and the edge of a tattoo. "What happened to your face?" His hand moved toward her cheek, then stopped. Waiting for permission Naomi didn't know how to give. "I fell." The lie felt stupid, obvious. "I'm okay." Jae-sung's eyes narrowed. In 9 months, she'd never heard him yell, but the quiet coming from him now was scarier than screaming. "You fell," he repeated, each word heavy with doubt. "Yes, and those marks on your neck." He pointed to her throat, where fingerprint bruises showed despite her high collar. Naomi pulled her collar up higher. "Mr. Park, I really need to finish. I have other houses today. Sit down." "I can't. I have 3 more clients and I said sit down." Softer, but just as firm. She sat on the edge of his perfect gray couch, completely wrong in every way. Her cheap uniform, her old shoes, her messed up face in his perfect space. Jae-sung stood in front of her, hands in his pockets, staring at her so intensely it made her warm. "Tell me his name." "There's no name. Naomi." The way he said her name, careful, like something precious, took her breath away. He'd never said her name before. "I built my whole career on reading people. You're scared. That bruise is new. Someone hurt you, and recently." She stood up fast. With respect, Mr. Park, my personal life isn't your business. It became my business the second you walked in here. Hurt. He stepped closer and she smelled his cologne and something darker, maybe whiskey or smoke. Is it a boyfriend? No. Ex-husband? No. Then who? Naomi looked at his eyes, saw real concern there, mixed with something that looked like he wanted to hurt someone. Why do you care? I'm just the cleaning lady. Something moved across his face, surprise, maybe hurt. You think that's all you are? Isn't it? Jae-sung was quiet for a minute. I notice everything here. Naomi, 9 months ago, you started bringing plants, cheap little succulents that you put around my apartment when you think I won't see. You rearrange my books by color instead of how they're supposed to go because you think it looks better. You turn down the temperature 2 degrees before you leave because you figured out I like it cooler at night. Her throat got tight. She thought nobody saw her. You hum when you clean. He kept going. Church songs, your mama's favorites. I think, because sometimes you sing words about finding grace in Portland. He tilted his head. You're not just my cleaning lady. You're the only real thing in this whole place. Naomi couldn't breathe. Mr. Park, the name. Give me the name of who did this. I can't. Can't or won't. Both. She grabbed her cleaning stuff. I have to go. His hand caught her wrist, the one without bruises, gentle but firm. If you leave now, whoever hurt you will do it again. Your protection? She almost laughed. You don't even know me. I know enough. I know you have a daughter, 8 years old, right? I know you work 5 houses every day to afford an apartment in a neighborhood you're scared to walk through at night. I know you're stronger than anyone I've ever met, and I know... He stopped, his jaw tight. I know I won't let anyone hurt you again. The elevator dinged. Jae-sung's face changed instantly, the worry disappearing behind cold control. A woman came out. Korean, young, professional. Sajung-nim. We have the reports. Ready? The woman stopped, seeing Naomi. Jae-sung spoke fast Korean, sounding annoyed. The woman bowed and left quickly. Naomi, Jae-sung's voice pulled her back. Stay. Have dinner with me tonight. Tell me everything. I can't. Why? Because you're Park Jae-sung. She pointed around the apartment. And I'm nobody. His hand moved to her face, his thumb barely touching the edge of her bruise, so gentle it hurt more than the actual hit. You're wrong. You're the first person I've wanted to really know in 12 years. Naomi's phone buzzed. Destiny's school. She pulled away. I have to go. She was in the elevator before Jae-sung could stop her, but she felt his eyes on her the whole way down, heavy and searching and dangerously intense. That night, lying in her tiny bed in their cramped apartment, Naomi touched the bruise on her face and wondered what it meant that Park Jae-sung had looked at her like she actually mattered. If you're enjoying this story of unexpected love breaking through invisible walls, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss our next upload. Drop a comment below telling us what you think Naomi should do. Now let's see what happens next. 3 days went by. Naomi came back to the apartment on schedule, half expecting Jae-sung to fire her or worse, demand answers she couldn't give. Instead, she found him sitting at his dining table, papers spread out everywhere, waiting. You showed up. He sounded relieved. It's my job. It's Friday at 9 a.m. Come sit with me, Mr. Park, please. He pointed to the chair next to him. Just sit. She gave up and sat down, keeping space between them. Jae-sung pushed a cup of tea toward her, the expensive kind, probably Korean, smelling amazing and steaming hot. I asked around, he said quietly. Naomi's blood went cold. What? About you. About who might want to hurt you. He held up his hand before she could freak out. I was careful. But Naomi, if someone's threatening you, I can. Help. No, she stood up. You can't do whatever you're thinking. This isn't your problem to fix. Then whose problem is it? Yours? His eyes flashed. You're cleaning houses 12 hours a day just to survive. Someone put their hands on you. That makes it my problem now. Why? She shot back. Why do you care? Jae-sung stood up, walking around the table until they were face to face. Because when I look at you, I don't see a cleaning lady. I see someone who brings light into this empty place I've built. I see someone who still hums like she believes in happiness despite everything trying to crush it. You don't know anything about me. Then tell me. His hand lifted to her face again, that same hovering thing. asking permission. Tell me everything. This time, Naomi didn't pull back. His fingers brushed her cheek, feather light, touching the edge of the bruise. The touch was so gentle it hurt worse than the original punch. His name is Terrell, she heard herself whisper. My ex, Destiny's father. Jae-sung's hand stopped moving. Where is he now? I don't know. He left when I was pregnant, came back 2 weeks ago wanting money. Said I owed him for, quote, investing in a kid he never wanted. Her voice cracked. He got mad when I said no. Did he threaten your daughter? The protective anger in his voice made her look up. Jae-sung's face looked carved from stone, but his eyes burned. He said things, Naomi admitted, about knowing where she goes to school, about how accidents happen to kids. Jae-sung's jaw clenched. He pulled out his phone, typed fast in Korean, then put it away. That threat ends today. What are you? I'm handling it. Terrell will forget you exist. You can't just... Naomi grabbed his arm. Jae-sung, whatever you're thinking, don't. I won't have blood on my hands. There won't be blood. There'll just be a conversation. His hand covered hers. Naomi, guys like Terrell only understand one language. I speak it perfectly. I don't want your help. Too bad. You have it anyway. He pulled her closer, and suddenly they were breathing the same air, in the same impossible space. I'm done pretending you're invisible. I'm done pretending I don't count the hours until Friday at 9 a.m. Her heart pounded. This is crazy. You're you and you're the woman I think about when I should be working. You're the reason I started coming home early on Fridays. His thumb rubbed over her knuckles. You're the only honest thing in my life. You barely know me. Then let me know you. He bent down slightly, bringing their faces level. Have dinner with me. Real dinner. Not me catching you while you work. I have Destiny. Bring her. Naomi blinked. You want to meet my daughter? I want to meet everyone who matters to you. I want to understand what makes you hum those songs. I want... He stopped, something vulnerable crossing his face. I want to matter to you the way you've started to matter to me. The elevator dinged. Jae-sung cursed in Korean but didn't step away. Another man came out, older, speaking urgently. Jae-sung responded with sharp words that made the man go pale and leave fast. I have to handle something, Jae-sung said, turning back to Naomi. But tomorrow, dinner at my restaurant in Chinatown, Han River, 7 o'clock. I'll send a car. Jae, I can't afford, you're not paying, you're my guest. He lifted her hand to his lips, kissed her knuckles in a way that sent electricity through her whole body. Say yes, Naomi. Let me show you what it feels like to be seen. She should say no, should keep the distance between their worlds, should protect herself and Destiny from the dangerous world of Park Jae-sung. But when he looked at her like she was rare and precious, when his touch made her feel cherished instead of invisible, when his voice wrapped around her name like a promise, yes, she whispered. Jae-sung's smile transformed his whole face, made him look younger, almost boyish. Tomorrow, then. He was gone before she could change her mind, leaving her standing in his perfect apartment, hand still tingling from his kiss, heart racing with equal parts terror and hope. That night, Destiny asked why Mommy kept smiling at nothing. Naomi told her they were going to dinner at a fancy restaurant. She didn't mention the man with dangerous eyes who'd somehow seen through her invisibility and decided she was worth protecting. She didn't mention that every instinct screamed this would end badly. She especially didn't mention that for the first time in 8 years, ending badly seemed like a risk worth taking. Want to know what happens at that dinner? Keep watching, because things are about to get even more intense. Han River sat on a corner in Chinatown that whispered old money and older secrets. Naomi stood outside with Destiny, both wearing their Sunday best, which still looked shabby against the restaurant's sleek entrance. Mama, are you sure we're supposed to be here? Destiny tugged at her dress, a hand-me-down that Naomi had carefully fixed. We were invited, baby. Naomi squeezed her daughter's hand, fighting her own doubts. The door opened before they could knock. A hostess in a traditional hanbok bowed. Miss Williams, Mr. Park is waiting. They were led through the main dining room, all soft lighting and wealthy people, to a private room in the back. Jae-sung stood when they entered, and Naomi's breath caught. He wore black pants and a white shirt with the sleeves rolled up, showing strong forearms and the edge of a tattoo. Casual but expensive, probably cost more than her monthly rent. Naomi. His eyes looked her over, warm and appreciative. You look beautiful, she blushed. suddenly aware of her cheap dress. "I look like beautiful," he repeated firmly, then got down to Destiny's level. "And you must be Destiny. Your mom talks about you constantly." Destiny's eyes went wide. "She does? All the time. She says you're the smartest girl in first grade." "Second grade," Destiny corrected seriously. "But I read at a fourth grade level." Jae-sung's smile was genuine. "Then you and I will get along great. I collect books." "Do you like books?" Destiny nodded excitedly. And just like that, she was chattering about her favorite stories while Jae-sung listened like he actually cared. Naomi watched them, her heart squeezing at how natural Jae-sung was with her daughter. No talking down to her, no fake interest, just real engagement. Dinner was amazing. Dish after dish of Korean food Naomi had never tried, each one explained patiently by Jae-sung. He taught Destiny how to use chopsticks, laughing when she dropped food over and over. He told stories about growing up in Seoul, about his grandmother who taught him to love good food and strong women. "My grandmother would have loved you," he said to Naomi, pouring her more tea. "She always said the strongest people are the ones who protect others before themselves. I'm not that strong. You're raising an amazing daughter alone. You work 5 jobs. You stand up to men twice your size. When they threaten what you love." His eyes held hers. "Naomi, you're the strongest person I've ever met." Destiny excused herself to the bathroom, leaving them alone for the first time all night. The air changed immediately, tension crackling. "Thank you," Naomi said softly. "For this, for being kind to Destiny." "I'm not being kind. I'm being honest." Jae-sung leaned forward. "She's incredible, because you're incredible." "Jae-sung, I meant what I said yesterday, about wanting to know you, about you mattering." His hand found hers across the table. "I know this is fast. I know our worlds don't make sense together, but Naomi, I haven't felt this alive in years. She should pull away." Instead, she turned her hand over, lacing their fingers together. "I'm scared. Of me? Of what you make me feel? Of what happens when reality hits?" She met his eyes. "You're Park Jae-sung. I've heard the stories. I know what you are. What am I? Dangerous. Powerful. Way out of my league." His thumb stroked her palm. "You. Want to know what I see when I look at you? I see someone who makes me want to be better. Someone who makes me question every choice that led to this life." His voice dropped. "Someone who makes me think, maybe I could be more than what I've become." Jae-sung. Destiny burst back in, breaking the moment. But Jae-sung didn't let go of Naomi's hand. And when Destiny noticed, she grinned like she'd discovered a secret. They stayed for 2 more hours. Jae-sung ordered dessert, pat bingsu that made Destiny's eyes light up, and told more stories. He asked about Naomi's childhood in Portland, listened to her talk about her mother's cooking, her dreams of maybe opening her own cleaning business someday. "Not just cleaning," he said thoughtfully. "A company that pays fair wages, that treats workers with respect. It's just a dream. Dreams become real when someone believes in them hard enough." His eyes held a promise. "I believe in yours." The ride home was in Jae-sung's car, a sleek black Mercedes, driven by a quiet bodyguard. Destiny fell asleep against Naomi's shoulder, full and happy. "She likes you," Naomi whispered. "Good, because I plan on being around a lot more." Jae-sung shifted closer. "If you'll let me. This is insane. Maybe." His hand touched her face, thumb brushing over where the bruise had been. The mark was fading, yellowish now instead of purple. "But I'm done pretending I don't want this. Want you. People will talk. Your world and mine. My world is whatever I say it is." His voice turned fierce. "And I say you belong in it." The car stopped outside her apartment building, a rundown place in a neighborhood that made Jae-sung's jaw tighten. He helped her get sleepy Destiny out, then walked them to the door despite Naomi's protests. "Tomorrow," he said at her doorway. "Come to the apartment, not to work, to see me." "Jay." He kissed her, soft and searching, a question more than a demand. Naomi's free hand grabbed his shirt, pulling him closer, even as her mind screamed, warnings. He tasted like possibility and danger, like everything she'd trained herself not to want. When they broke apart, his forehead rested against hers. "Tomorrow," he repeated. "Tomorrow," she agreed, and watched him disappear into the night, taking her common sense with him. Tomorrow came with chaos. Naomi was getting Destiny ready for school when her phone rang. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer, but something made her pick up. "Miss Williams," A woman's voice, professional and cold. "This is Detective Chen, Seattle PD. We need to talk about Terrell Jackson." Naomi's blood froze. "What about him? He's filed a complaint claiming harassment from someone connected to you. He also says you've made false accusations about domestic violence." The floor tilted. "That's not true. I never filed anything about, 'We need you to come to the station today.'" Naomi's mind raced. She'd told Jae-sung about Terrell. Jae-sung had made a call. Oh God, what had he done? She dropped Destiny at school and went straight to the apartment, skipping her usual schedule. Jae-sung answered the private elevator in workout clothes, sweaty and gorgeous and completely unconcerned. "Naomi, I wasn't expecting you." He stopped, seeing her face. "What's wrong? What did you do?" Her voice shook. "The police called. Terrell is claiming harassment. What did you do?" Jae-sung's expression closed down. "I had a conversation with him, like I promised." "What kind of conversation?" "Because now he's lying to the police about me. And he's lying because I made it clear what happens if he comes near you again." Jae-sung walked toward her carefully. "The harassment claim won't stick. I have people who... You have people." Naomi stepped back. "Jae-sung, I can't be involved in whatever you did. I have Destiny. If Child Services thinks I'm connected to..." She couldn't breathe. "I could lose her." Understanding hit his face. "Naomi, no, that won't happen. I made sure. You made sure." Her voice rose. "You don't get to make sure of anything in my life. You don't get to fix my problems with whatever criminal connections you have. I was protecting you. I didn't ask for your protection." "I asked." She stopped, realizing the truth. "I never asked for anything. You just took over like I'm some damsel who needs saving by the big, powerful tech guy." Jae-sung flinched. "That's not what this is. No? Then what is it? Because from where I'm standing, you're playing hero while I'm the one who'll face the consequences." She laughed bitterly. "And you have money and power and you have me," he said fiercely. "You have my protection, my resources, everything. I don't want them." The words exploded out of her. "I want my simple life where I know the rules, where I clean houses and raise my daughter and stay invisible because invisible is safe. Invisible is dying slowly." Jae-sung grabbed her shoulders. "You think I don't see what that life costs you? You're drowning, Naomi. I'm trying to throw you a lifeline. I don't want your lifeline. I want..." Her voice cracked. "I want to not be terrified that loving you will destroy everything I've built." The room went silent. Naomi realized what she'd said, watched Jae-sung's face transform. "You love me," he whispered. She tried to take it back. Couldn't. "It doesn't matter. It's the only thing that matters." He pulled her close and she went, despite everything, pressing into his chest like she could hide from the world there. "Naomi, I will fix this. The police thing will disappear. Terrell will never bother you again. I swear on everything I have. That's what I'm afraid of. Everything you have includes things I can't be part of." His arms tightened. "Then I'll change. You can't change what you are. You're Park Jae-sung, leader of whatever empire you've built. You have responsibilities, people depending on you, a whole world I don't understand. So help me understand yours. Let me in completely. Let me..." Her phone rang. The detective again. Naomi pulled away to answer, and Jae-sung's face hardened at whatever he heard in her voice. When she hung up, he was already making calls in Korean, his tone sharp and commanding. Within 30 minutes, he had a lawyer heading to the police station, someone to pick up Destiny from school, and apparently Terrell's complaint in the process of vanishing. "It's handled," he said finally. Naomi stared at him, this man who could reshape reality with a few phone calls, who looked at her like she was precious, who'd somehow become essential to her happiness in just a few weeks. "I need time," she said quietly. "To think, to figure out if I can do this." Pain flashed across his face. "How much time?" "I don't know." "Naomi, please." She was already backing toward the elevator. "Just please." She left him standing in his perfect apartment, looking lost for the first time since she'd met him. The ride down felt like falling, and Naomi wondered if she'd just made the biggest mistake of her life, or if the biggest mistake was falling in love with Park Jae-sung in the first place. 4 days of silence. Jae-sung didn't call, didn't text, gave her the space she'd asked for. Naomi should have felt relieved. Instead, she felt empty. She went through the motions. Work, Destiny, sleep, repeat. Terrell's complaint had indeed vanished like Jae-sung promised. She should have been grateful. She was mostly terrified of how easily he'd made her problem disappear. On the 5th day, Destiny asked why they weren't seeing Mr. Park anymore. "It's complicated, baby. Do you miss him?" "Yes. No point lying to her too smart daughter. Then why don't we see him?" Destiny's eyes, too old for 8, studied her. "Is it because he's rich and we're not?" Naomi's heart broke. "It's because his life is very different from ours. He made you smile, Mama. You don't smile much anymore." Destiny climbed into her lap. "I liked when you smiled." That night, Naomi couldn't sleep. She kept replaying moments. Jae-sung's hand on her face, his fierce protectiveness, the way he'd gotten down to Destiny's level and listened like her daughter's words mattered, the way he'd kissed her like she was everything. Her phone buzzed at 2 a.m. "Jae-sung, I miss you. Tell me how to fix this." She stared at the message, fingers hovering over the keyboard. "Tell him it's impossible. Tell him they're from different worlds. Tell him she's not strong enough for his life. Tell him she loves him anyway." Before she could respond, someone pounded on her door. Naomi's heart seized. Late-night knocks were never good. She grabbed her phone, ready to call 911, and looked through the peephole. Jae-sung stood there in wrinkled clothes, hair messed up, looking nothing like the controlled businessman and everything like a desperate man. She opened the door. "What are you? I can't do this." He pushed inside, pacing her tiny living room like a trapped animal. 4 days, Naomi. 4 days of pretending I can function without you. I can't. Jae-sung, it's 2 a.m. Destiny's sleeping. I'll be quiet. He wasn't quiet. I've spent 12 years building an empire, 12 years making myself untouchable. Then you walk into my life humming gospel songs and buying plants, and suddenly everything I built feels empty. You barely know me. I know everything that matters. I know you sacrifice so your daughter can have better. I know you see good in people even when they don't deserve it. I know you think you're invisible. But Naomi, he crossed to her in 2 strides, holding her face in both hands. You're the most visible thing in my world. When you're not there, everything goes gray. Tears burned her eyes. I'm scared. So am I. His forehead touched hers, terrified. Because you've become my weakness. And in my world, weakness gets you destroyed. But I don't care anymore. I'd rather be vulnerable with you than live safe and alone. Your world, people will judge. I don't care what people think. Anyone who has a problem with us has a problem with me. His voice turned cold. And problems with me don't last long. That's what scares me. How casually you talk about violence, how you can make people disappear with a phone call. Would you rather I let Terrell hurt you? Let anyone hurt you? His grip tightened. I won't apologize for protecting what's mine. I'm not yours, aren't you? He pulled back to look at her, and his eyes held everything. Desperation, hope, love, because I'm completely yours. Every dark, broken part of me belongs to you now, and I know that's not fair. I know I'm dragging you into something complicated, but Naomi, his voice cracked, I can't lose you. I won't survive it. Jae-sung, I love you. The words hung between them, raw and honest. I love you too, a shaky breath. Let me love you. Let me take care of you in Destiny. Let me be the man you make me want to be. What if it's not enough? What if the difference is between us? Then we'll fight for it together. He kissed her, soft and pleading. I'll leave my world if you ask. No, she pulled back. I won't ask you to give up who you are. Then what do you want? Naomi looked at this powerful man reduced to begging in her cheap apartment, asking her to save him the way he'd tried to save her. She thought about Destiny asking why she didn't smile, about how invisible she'd felt before Jae-sung looked at her like she was real, about how love was always a risk, but some risks were worth taking. I want you, she whispered. All of you, even the complicated parts, even the scary parts. She grabbed his shirt, pulled him closer. I want you to teach me Korean. I want to learn about your world while you learn about mine. He kissed her, deep and claiming, lifting her off the ground as she wrapped around him. They broke apart, breathless. I want you to meet my mom, she continued. In Portland, I want Destiny to have a father figure who actually shows up. I want to wake up next to you and not feel like I'm trespassing in your life. You're not trespassing. You're home. He set her down gently. My apartment is home now because you're in it. I'm home because you see me, Jae-sung. Marry me. Naomi froze. What? Not now, not tomorrow, but eventually. Marry me and let me spend my life proving you're the best decision I ever made. He kissed her forehead, her cheeks, her lips. Let me love you and Destiny. Let me be yours. You're insane. About you? Absolutely. He smiled against her mouth. Say maybe. Give me maybe. Maybe. She laughed through tears. You're absolutely insane and way too intense and yours. Nobody touches what's mine. His voice turned fierce, protective. You're mine now, Naomi, and I'm yours. Anyone who has a problem with that can deal with me. She pulled him down for another kiss, giving in to the impossible, terrifying, perfect reality of loving Park Jae-sung. A small voice interrupted. Mama, why is Mr. Park here? They broke apart to find Destiny in her doorway, sleepy and curious. Jae-sung immediately got down to her level. I came to ask your mom something important, but I should ask you too. He took Destiny's small hand in his. Would it be okay if I spent more time with you and your mom? If I became part of your family? Destiny studied him with 8-year-old seriousness. Will you make Mama smile again? Every single day? Will you read me stories and teach me Korean? And she hesitated. Will you stay? My dad left. People always leave. Jae-sung's expression softened. I'm not leaving. Not ever. I promise you both. He looked between them. You're my family now, and I protect my family. Destiny threw her arms around his neck. Jae-sung stood, lifting her easily, and reached for Naomi with his free arm. They stood there, the tech mogul, the cleaning lady, and the little girl, forming something new and fragile and impossibly strong. I love you, Naomi whispered against Jae-sung's shoulder. I love you both, he whispered back. My whole world. And for the first time in 8 years, Naomi felt completely, utterly, perfectly seen. Years later, Naomi stood in the apartment, their apartment now, arranging plants. Not cheap succulents anymore, but she still bought them herself, still insisted on the ritual. Jae-sung watched from the kitchen doorway, coffee in hand, looking at her like she was everything. You're staring, she said without turning. Can't help it. You're beautiful when you're focused. She turned, smiled. His shirt hung open, showing the tattoos that now included her name in Korean characters over his heart. She wore his shirt from yesterday, bare legs underneath, completely comfortable in the space that had once scared her. Destiny called. She got into Stanford. Naomi's voice shook with pride. Of course she did. She's brilliant. Jae-sung walked to her, pulled her close. Like her mother. Her father helped. Naomi's cleaning business had grown with Jae-sung's support. Fair wages, good benefits, a model that other companies now copied. She ran it herself, but he'd been there for every step. I just provided money. You provided the vision. A knock interrupted them. Jae-sung tensed automatically. Old habits, but relaxed when familiar voices called out. His business partners, now uncles to Destiny. Naomi's mom visiting from Portland with more soul food than 3 people could eat. Destiny herself, home from college with friends. Their apartment filled with Korean and English, with laughter and love and the collision of worlds that had somehow formed something beautiful. Jae-sung had stepped back from the shadier parts of his business, gone mostly legitimate with the tech investments. The transition had been rough, but Naomi had been there through all of it. That night, after everyone left, Jae-sung found her on the balcony overlooking Seattle. Regrets? He asked, wrapping arms around her from behind. Never. She leaned into him. You? Only that I didn't see the bruise on your face sooner. That I wasted 9 months seeing you without really seeing you. Naomi turned in. His arms. You see me now, every day, for the rest of my life. He kissed her softly. My beautiful, strong, impossible wife. Your stubborn, plant-arranging, book-reorganizing wife, she corrected. Mine, he agreed. Completely, perfectly mine. And in the city that had once made her feel invisible, Naomi Williams Park had never felt more seen, more loved, more home. If you loved this story of love breaking through barriers and 2 worlds colliding in the most beautiful way, make sure you're subscribed to this channel. Hit that like button if Naomi and Jae-sung's journey touched your heart, and drop a comment telling us your favorite moment from their story. Don't forget to turn on the notification button because we've got more incredible tales of unexpected romance coming your way. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the most powerful love stories start with someone finally seeing you for who you really are.